Good evening, everyone. This is Tim O'Neill as the chairman of the ARA Rally Committee, and I want to make sure everybody understands that I'm at home now, and my little space here is kind of cozy, and I just wanted to give you some updates on where we're at. One of the first things, I think the last time we talked online was September. Since then, we now have got 6 events in the 2017 ARA National Championship. So these 6 events are going to be starting off with Pierce Neige, which is the first one in Quebec. We're going to have a combination of the Canadian Rally Championship and ARA points, as well as we're going to have the North American Rally Championship details posted on our website. That's North American Rally Championship, something that I've always liked, wanted to be involved with since the 80s, when it was actually quite active, where you'd have 2 events from the U.S. Championship and 2 events in the National Championship, and the best one that did it in those 4 events was the North American Championship. So hopefully that will work out better. One of the things, if you want to see the rules, they are posted online in draft form for the public input. We've actually found it works quite well to put it in draft form, because we do have people come back and they'll find errors, they'll find things that we didn't think about. And one of the things I just want to mention is that an ARA is formed as a nonprofit. There's committees that work together to solve problems, and they bring these their findings to the board, and then the board makes the vote. Well, this process does take a long time. For people like me that really aren't that patient, it's a little frustrating, but what I'm seeing now is, because we have a lot of experts working together to try to solve some of these problems that we've had for years, we're actually getting good decisions. I think good rules are being made. I think there's a lot of good things happening. It's just, it takes longer, and it has to be more transparent, and so therefore there will be a lot of times where people will be giving feedback, and it may or may not be that helpful, but I'm quite happy with the way the rules are coming along, and when the rule book's published, there'll be the general rules, the competition rules, and the tech rules will be in one. The board of directors have been formed, and they've been meeting. We had our official year-end general meeting, and it went quite well. It was in the beginning of December, and we had not as many as a group as I'd like to have, but we had enough people to make decisions, and we did a lot of groundwork for 17 and 18. Also, now we're doing interviewing the competition director and the media rep. As you know, the competition director is the person on the ground at events, making decisions in a timely manner. And also that person is working year-round. So when it comes to, you have a question on certain rules, certain procedures, it could be even situations, issues with legality of vehicles, the competition director is going to lead you in the right direction. They're going to be there all the time. I'm guessing that this person is still going to have a regular job. Probably email is going to be the best if you're not at an event. And if you're at an event, you should have their phone number, and you should be able to know where to find them at all times. The media rep is going to be somebody that we've had a lot of really good candidates. It's really hard to make these decisions. I'm glad I'm not actually making the decision. So one of the things with the media rep, there's a lot of things that they have to do, but one is coaching the regional competitors through teaching the organizers. So the organizers will help coach the competitors. The media rep will work with both national and event organizers. It'll make it so it'll be a little bit easier for the organizers to try to do promotion. And that's what we've kind of seen in the past. It's fallen down. I think we can do a lot better job that we have this person that can actually train people, and we say we can teach you how to fish. So I'm very happy that the number and the quality of people that we've got. And remember, anybody that had sent in their bio, their resume, if you know, it's gonna be really hard, but there's gonna be a lot of people that are qualified but will not be picked. But we want to make sure that you understand that there's a lot of space available for this type of person in other parts of ARA. So there's an awful lot of things that need to be done. So just because you didn't get the competition director, the media rep job, doesn't mean we don't have other stuff that we're going to be working on. And we've had a lot of volunteers that have asked to help, and we are just being slow about putting the right people in the right place. Remember, this is something that it's going to take a while. You have to be patient, and we're going to make sure we get the right people on the bus and work with them until they're moving and function, then go on to the next. So we're just not going to fill seats. One of the other things I want to talk about is my dog is here with us, and my dog is not a rally person. The competition licenses are available for purchase. A lot of people have asked, how's this going to work? Well, if you're going to do one event, you just pay $50 for one event. If you're going to do two events, well, you're probably better off getting a license. If you're going to do two or more events, you're probably better off getting an ARA license. If you get an ARA license, you're also going to have a membership. We're going to have other cars, and NASA and Rally America license will be accepted with a $50 per event fee. So if you do your math, you'd be a little smarter than me, but I think you could find that if you're only doing one or two events, you're better off just paying the temporary license. If you're going to do more than that, then you're better off buying the national license. We have the general membership in the ARA can be purchased for $25. At this point, you're going to get a hard card and a sticker. We're working on different member benefits. I don't know if anybody remembers what it was like in SCCA, but being a SCCA member gave you a magazine, it gave you a lot more stuff, insurance, and a number of other things. So we're going to be working on that. So hopefully we'll give you some good value, and you'll want to be a member of ARA. There's going to be other really cool things I think you're going to want to be involved with. Another thing is, since the last time we've talked about the Subaru commitment to ARA Championship and their contingency support. So we have Subaru on board. We also have Ford on board. They're going to help with contingency. We hope that over time Ford will see more benefit and they'll see more value in the series, and they will want to be involved more. But at this point, it's contingency. It's really good to see some of the people that we haven't seen in rallying for a while show interest. For example, Bill Bacon is a really, really fast driver. He's committed to doing the whole season. I know there's been a lot of people calling and talking, and they want to know about the rules. We will have some restrictions on the Open Class 17 rules that we'll be announcing soon. We've been talking to some of the teams. We're going to have, I think, a lot of momentum here because we're going to do more promotion. We're going to do, we're working on a number of different ways where we can update what we've been doing a lot quicker. Live feed is something that we're working on. It's not really that hard in some places, and other places extremely difficult. So it's going to take time. Everything is, it just takes longer than you probably have patience for. Most of us in rally don't have patience, and that's why we're probably into it, because it's so fast-paced and exciting. But we have to have patience on this one if we want to last for the long term. ARA logo has been selected, and branding requirements are on our website. You're going to be able to see that. Some of the other sticker packages, graphic packages will be online here in the next few days. You'll be able to see that for you want to have graphics for your rally car. We'll have our media policy up pretty soon. I'm thinking that's going to be at least another week before we see that. Some of the other things we want to work on is Rally Safe, the system that is on the rally cars, and it shows when you've stopped on the course or when somebody else has stopped on the course and you're about to come up on them. The other thing is Rally Safe can be used as a way to track the vehicles. We might be able to use it for promotion, and I hope that we can eventually have something down the road where you're home watching your car on the screen, kind of like how the WRC guys do it. There's a few other things we're going to try, but we really only want to implement that if the competitors want it, and the competitors are willing to pay a little bit more in the entry fee, and it's probably going to be close to $200 per entry on an event for all the competitors. So we have to kind of work that out and figure out if that's really what we want to do. It's safer, it's better, it's probably good money spent, but that's something that we have to work on still. Some of the other things, as we talk about the national competitors, they're going to have a lot more press than they had and more updates. And we're going to really encourage the competitors to have press kits. We're going to help coach them. Some of the competitors have never had a bio or press kit out there. Back in the old days, you couldn't even enter a rally without it. I hope to see that more and more. So we're gonna hopefully help the competitors and encourage them and find other ways to motivate them to get their information out. So when the journalists show up at the rally, they're looking for a story, they're looking for a character, they're going to come to you, and that is going to turn into sponsorship over time. It's going to be when the limited journalists come and they want to be able to have a story about a father-son or mother-daughter or old guy or whatever. You're going to have that information out there. The press guy is going to say, hey, go see this guy. He's got some good stories. It can help you in getting money. The other thing, the regional competitors, we want to help them. We want to, like I said earlier, we want to work with the organizers to help their regional competitors. You have a bio and a press kit, and work with the regional sponsors. Try to really encourage this with the new people and get them when they first start rallying to start doing it right to begin with. Because unless you want to pay your own bills, unless you want to keep writing checks, I think you're way better off getting yourself set up. We're not talking Ken Block smooth slick here. We're talking just have your basic information with your bio, your competition history, and even if you don't have one, your history, your story. It might be a little bit reality show-ish, but I think that's what people want to see. For the regional guys, I think there's a lot of really good stories that have not been told, and we want to try to work on that. Everything we do this year is really trying to set us up for 18. So we may try some things that don't work. We may try some things that work. Maybe we accidentally bump into some really good things, and it's all going to be about promoting everyone from the regional to the national and in the events. We also have, we're working on some potential partners to bring these updates to help fund some of this. Some of our partners already have a good media circus. Some of our potential partners are very interested in doing this. So we're going to be bringing on some heavy hitters. We hope that it's going to work out to where we don't have to spend all our own money. We're going to work with our partners and give them deals, and they will use their resources to help us promote and give more value to our series. There's a lot of things out there. When I look around, I think, well, we have some good ideas. We want to do this, we want to do that. And when I look at things like what the NASA guys are doing with Anders and Chris, they're with the Academy, it's a lot of really good stuff out there, and I'm very impressed with what's already out there, and we would like to see more of that, and we would like to adopt some of that ourselves and try not to cross over too much, but we want to really encourage these guys. I'm very impressed with how much effort has been put into this, and I think there's a lot of really good information. I'd like to see everybody continue putting in your questions, giving us feedback. We might not be able to do everything, but we're trying. And I think that you're going to see over time, as more and more people get involved, it's going to take on a way of its own where most people that are involved in rallying are going to see the benefit to them directly. And it's going to encourage them to get out, to build a car, to buy a car, to rent a car, to do events enough. So it might be that with enough value in the series, you could get to where you're only paying for half your bills, or you're getting free tires or free brakes. That's the start, and then from there on, it could take 5 or 10 years before this takes on, and where actually we get serious money coming in because the sponsors see the value. one of the other questions people ask, car numbers. We're going to start off by using the old Rally America car numbers. If you have a car number now, we're going to use that. Once we get going, there's going to be a certain point in where we'll stop securing those numbers, and then we will issue out new numbers for any new people.
They can email competition at American Rally.
And if you want to know about your car number, you can email competition at AmericanRallyAssociation.com and ask them for a number if you don't have one already. And I had some other questions here. Hey, Dave, how you doing? We have, once again, I think of Dave is saying hi and everything. He is one of the people that with a lot of experience that I've asked to be involved, and we are working on trying to fill those spots. So just so you know, Dave, we haven't forgotten about you. We just got to go about it slow. That's one thing I've learned in business is hire slow and fire quickly. So we're making sure that the people that we do get in one at a time, we make sure they understand their job and what's got to be done, and they need a little bit of mentoring and tutoring. And once we feel that they're set, then we go on with the next one. So that's why, if you're wondering, why is everything taking so long, that's just the way it works. When you have an organization and it's done right in the beginning, it takes longer. The old days we would just have one person that would be making all the decisions, and I'm not sure that that's the right way.
So Dennis asked about VP fuels, if VP fuel will be available at events.
Actually, Dennis, I don't know. We are not going to require you run a spec fuel at this point. I don't know if we've actually had contact with VP Fuel. I don't believe at this point, I don't believe so. So it's most likely, until we sort this out, you'll have to bring your own fuel or arrange it at the event some other way.
So yeah, we're just taking open questions now.
Any open questions, I hope to answer them. And once again, if I give you an answer and I tell you it's my opinion, that's all it is. I'm just trying to be helpful, but I don't have all the answers at this point. And nor do we need all the answers right now, because we still have 2 more months before the first event. And the first event is a Canadian event, which they basically manage it. We don't have a lot of say over the first event. We will just work with our national teams and promote them and work with the TV. And it'll be more of a promotion thing, and work with our series Stewart, and work with the Stewart system, and work with our rules, and there's going to be a lot of really little things that we want to try at the first event, so we're a little bit more prepared for the second event, which will be in April. So we do actually have time. But by all means, if anybody has any questions, email's the best way, I think.
Karen wanted to know if we know who's going to be determining our speed factors in 2017.
That's the tech, right? So, Karen, I believe the speed factors will be determined by the tech guys. The same thing. If you want to know, you can email tech@ara.org. And exactly who is the person, it probably is going to be Martin Hedlund or Alan.
Al Kinte, too, I think.
Al Kinte.
Has said he might help.
Martin Hedlund. And what about Alan
Perry?
Alan Perry.
We haven't. Simple answer, we haven't decided yet.
We haven't decided yet, but it's going to be one of those 3 or 2 of those 3.
All right, so more questions if we have them.
Yes, if you guys have any other questions, please bring it.
Right in the comments.
Bring it up right in the comments section. As you probably know, that I'm not the IT professional, so I might be using the wrong words. So anybody can coach me if you want to. If you want to tell me to use the right words. My young daughters usually have been trying to coach me, but they laugh and snicker when I get it wrong. So I'm not sure if they're coaching me or setting me up for failure. So please, anybody here, help me out.
Roger Borlace asked,
Roger.
Does anything change for volunteers or spectators?
Absolutely. Question Roger asked, anything going to change for volunteers or spectators? Absolutely not. As far as change is inevitable. Change is evolution. You're going to get better all the time. The one nice thing is, all the events will be on the same system, the worker data system, and it's gonna be a little bit more universal. So if you go to multiple events, you're gonna find that they're operating up a similar system. And I found that going to different events, you'd have different systems, and it was always very awkward. And then in the Northeast, where we share events from New England and Pennsylvania, and even some Canadian events, it gets a little confusing. So I think it will get better because of the continuity between events. But spectating will be better as well. We're working on, we used to do announcing at the spectating areas, and it's kind of challenging. We're going to do more of that, and I can't say for sure if Oregon, the first rally, we will have announcers, but that's definitely what we're working towards. So everything should get better. I would say the first event, you won't notice any difference because it's a Quebec event. The second event, you may notice that there's some spectating and a little better viewing, and announcing. And so there'll be more information. The spectator guides will be more of a universal, kind of a little bit, have similar information as far as local area events. So there's going to be a lot of little things. I think you'll see that as the year goes on, every event is going to get better and better and better and better. That's what I'd like to see.
Daniel asked, he's looking at purchasing a rally car that has custom fabricated strut towers to accept Universal Bilstein struts. Will custom fabricated strut towers be acceptable in the foreseeable future? I don't want to buy a car that won't be able to compete in 2 to 3 years.
That is a good question for tech. I know that our open class cars, you already can do that. Production cars, you cannot do that. NLO, I do not believe you'll be able to do that. So any of the two-wheel drive cars or the open cars, it's perfectly acceptable to do that. I know that the Bilsteins, you can actually use, it depends on the vehicle you're talking about, but you can use some Group N Subaru stuff, and you can leave your upper mounts the same and just use those Group N Subaru. There's a number of ways of doing it without changing the body mounts. But yes, if you want to run in the production car, you need to leave those body mounts the same.
Marcel asked, what timing and scoring system are you going to use?
Marcel, I don't know that, but I hope you're involved. We have timing and scoring. Have we decided on that?
That's been a big debate still.
Yeah, we're still debating that. And here's the thing: is there's a lot of good options there. And I know I've been in on a number of these meetings, and of course they ask me. It's not helpful. I don't know. So I know that there was four different ways of doing it. And actually, I kind of like the NASA Nook system. Right now this timing, every event's different. I know New England borrows clocks from the racers. I guess the next thing I liked was the way the 100-acre clocks are. They have a very good system. I don't think we could ever use Rally Safe as a timing system. There is Mark. There's another system that's made out there by Mark Williams, and that might be a good system. I know that we have to make that decision by February, and so we're still beating that one up. So at this point, we don't know, and I'm sorry I can't give you more information.
Doug asks if we have tech inspectors. We're going to have a mini, or we're going to have few. Do we have anyone in mind?
Tech inspectors, they're going to basically be regional. So I know New England is going to be the same. STPR is same. Share the same. So those two events will be the same. The West Coast, I can't remember all the different people out there. The folks out there are kind of, I remember faces but not names. We will have a few more tech inspectors as time goes on. If that's something that you're interested in doing, then I would definitely make contact. I think whether or not we have SFI certification, I think is probably going to be a minimum standard. It's kind of more about the people that are doing it now will continue doing it, and if we feel that there's a shortage, we'll probably add one or two more, but it depends. Once again, I'd rather have fewer good ones than have a lot of ones running around. More than anything, I would say enforcement is going to be the issue. We do not have enough enforcement, so there will be more we just say, I think of the FIA guys in the white coats running around opening hoods and stuff. They won't be quite that bad, but we're going to have a little bit more enforcement. So we will need people for that. The tech guys will be doing most of it, but there will be some extra people that on event for helping them go through and be quick. And, we don't want to keep you guys up late at night. It's just going to be a quick check and be done. During the event, there will be some spot checks. There will be a couple things people probably have been getting away with a little bit more, and we're going to say, okay, yeah, we're going to check this, so that certain things that you might not have had a problem with were in the rules, but were not enforced. They might start getting enforced more, and I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that there's been questions that haven't been dealt with over the time.
Not to go backwards, but Ryan Thompson from our tech committee did chime in on the tower situation. And he says they have discussed to allow raised towers in stock classes starting in 2018 because so many production cars now have such short travel. So it is something they are discussing.
So Ryan Thompson, you got that on the upper strut mount question is they will be, he's thinking in 2018 they're probably going to allow those to be raised for this exact problem of modern cars don't really have a lot of good travel, and there's not a lot of options on suspension mounting. So it sounds to me like Ryan and the boys are working on a way to get that rule changed for all cars in 18.
Perfect. Some good comments about the timing. Don't really have any more questions. I guess we'll give people another minute.
And one of the things that I've noticed, I also talk about this change of how we do things. There's been, I think, a lot of questions like, example, the tower rule. That has been bounced around forever. There's been so many years I have seen the same kind of questions that never got answered. Nobody's ever really happy with, because part of it is we only had a few people making all the decisions. Now we have, our tech committee has 6 people, all with 30 years experience. That's incredible. When you have a question, the guys might toss it around a little bit and they might have a little different of opinion, but when it comes right down to it, when they look at it, they pretty much can agree, and it's really good feedback. And that's honest. I've tried to answer some of these questions. I don't have the answer. These guys take a week or so, they got the answer. So I'm seeing a lot of really good things happening here.
Jackie Thompson wants to know, will rally courses be watched by video camera to help prevent people from hurting or damaging the course?
Well, Jackie, I'm not sure about that. If you talk about a super special stage or something that's possible, I guess I've never really heard of it being a problem. I know that there have been people that have done practice on roads and they're not supposed to. The rule is 90 days before the event, you're not supposed to be on there. Though I know that rule has been broken. And honestly, we have lost rally roads because of that. There have been many documented situations where landowners refused to allow us to drive on roads because people were practicing on roads without permission. Now, here's the thing. All you have to do is find the landowner and write them a letter. If you ask the rally, said, hey, I'd like to practice on this road, it's well over 90 days before the event, you send a letter to the organizer and the landowner, and you can make a deal. It can be done legally, but if you get caught, you will be thrown out. It will not be allowed. And remember, the problem is how our perception and our relationship with the landowners, and it's been very difficult at times when an organizer goes to a landowner and says, we'd like to have a rally, and even if you've had that road before, and the landowner's like, okay, but what about these people that are racing on the roads during the year when there's not a rally? It's like, ooh, how do you fix that? So maybe your camera idea might be a good way of doing it. Generally, when there's people around doing that, they get caught. They get spotted, a license plate, the police. But it might be that we have to enforce that a lot more. But up to this point, we hope that we can do it at the local level.
Lewis wants to know, with the start of the season around the corner, when is the final draft of the car and general rules going to be implemented?
Lewis, we're going to have the rules done they're going to be the general competition rules, the tech rules, and the I'm having a brain failure. I already said it earlier. The general rules, the competition rules, and the tech car rules are all going to be in the same book. They're going to be printed, I think, within a few weeks. So I believe that's going to be within 2 weeks. If you have seen the draft,
drafts are close.
They're very close. So if you want to just go online and look at the drafts, you're not going to find very much changed at this point. We've had a few changes already in some of them, and we've fixed them right away. As soon as we see a problem, somebody brings it up, we say, oh, that's not right. Yep, we thought about it. This person, yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think of that. Thank you very much. And we change them right there. So that's why they've been in there under draft. And you'll see the word draft go away, and you'll be able to buy those rule books online for...
Well, they'll be available to any competitor.
Any competitor will get them, but you could buy them online.
Well, I have a free draft, like online.
All right, you don't need to buy them. They're free on the internet. Remember, nothing's free.
We get a printed version we can charge. We'll talk
yes,
about
I want a printed version because I don't do the internet very much.
Jackie said thank you for the information.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jackie. We got to work on that.
Doug wanted to follow up. Who is on the tech committee, or where can I find who's on the tech committee?
Do we have that printed?
We do not have that anywhere.
We do not have that anywhere. They are a panel of expert rally mechanics and engineers. We don't have that on the website. That's a good point. We are going to put that on the website. The people involved, I'm going to make sure before I say who they are that they know that they're going to be on the website, and that information, their contact information, will be on there. It's very important that you go to tech when you have a tech question. Write an email to tech, because then it depends on which one of the guys are going to answer it, and it could be any one of them. So, and the only reason I'm being a little bit coy about it is because I want to make sure they don't become overwhelmed and inundated with questions. And these people are pretty much, they're doing it for nothing. So, and they have regular jobs. So I want to make sure that we don't overwhelm them. So we'll get it on there. We'll have, you can, for now, go tech at AmericanRallyAssociation.org. And then as we get their contact information, or as they're willing to put their contact information on there, then we'll have it so then you can contact somebody directly.
Will there ever be cars allowed on the NADA list? Why or why not?
Okay, so the NADA list is a car buy and book. Anything that's sold in this country is on that list. So it's already anything that we currently legally import is on the NADA list. I believe the question was, will there be any cars offered that are not on that list?
That must be what you meant.
I believe that's what you mean. And in open class...
Allowed, not... Yeah, that's what you meant.
Yeah. So in open class, you can run anything we ever imported. Is it true right now that actually the answer... I don't know if I have the answer.
I think our rules state that you had to be on that list.
An open class.
For
all classes, yeah.
For right now,
yeah. So it's not likely that we're going to have that. Now, you're going to see things like, I keep thinking the Ford Fiesta only comes over here in a 4-door. Well, it's still a Ford Fiesta, so if you bring a 2-door over and it's legally imported, then the only way it can be legally imported is a temporary motorsport visa, then you can. But if you're saying a Peugeot, and they don't sell Peugeots anymore, a Citroen, they don't sell Citroens here, probably not. I'm guessing that's the way it's going to be. I have had a number of people that wanted to bring over R5 cars, Mitsubishi sort of R5 cars, but they're based off from a Mitsubishi that is sold here. It may become a little 1.4 front-wheel drive, little tiny matchbox car, and then they put 4-wheel drive turbo in it, but it still was available here. And I believe that will stay like that for some time. Now, if you think that there should be, if you think there's a reason why it shouldn't be that way, then by all means, send us some information and say, hey, you know, well, if you did this like the rest of the world, make your point. We will look at it, and maybe it's something that we've just been doing because we've always done it, and maybe it's something that needs to really be looked at and that nobody's really thought about. But I think at this point, the NADA rule is probably going to stay, at least for 17 and probably for 18. But, there might be a possibility that could change. I don't think it will. Thank you for the question.
Matt Stryker wanted to know if the media policy we're releasing is going to be a draft or final version, and if there is a draft available right now. So, yes, obviously draft version.
Well, yeah, we will have the draft version. I think you said that media policy was going to be within a week or two, right?
Yeah, we have almost done.
Yeah, and that'll be in draft version.
Yeah.
So yes, within, I'll say 2 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks, we will have the draft media policy up there. I know they've been beating that up quite a bit, and that was really a controversial thing where a lot of people had their opinion and how it should be and how the WRC does it and why we're different. And I know that media policy was pretty restrictive under the other regimes. The biggest thing to remember, and I think I've stated it before, is the media need to be safe. So, yes, it will determine how you get a media pass and where you're allowed to go and what level you're at, and there's a lot of different things there. But the media need to be safe. We need to promote the sport safely. So, you look in the next few weeks, you should be able to see that draft media policy. Thank you.
And Matt was one of the people giving us input, so we appreciate that, Matt.
Yes, thank you, Matt. And this is going to help for sure. But yeah, that was a very tough one. We've got a lot of really good people involved in this, and thank you for adding to that, Matt.
Ryan Thompson helped us out again. They are discussing kit cars, and they are working on some 2018 classes that will be more fun and less restricted.
You hear that? We're going to have some ridiculous stuff out there. Oh, yeah.
Tim Maskus asks, is there a development or promotion of a historic class?
Oh, Tim. Yeah. Tim is asking about the historic class, and you'd have to be old to ask that question or answer that question. The answer is yes, we will have a historic class. We need to work on all this other stuff first. The historic class is something that we're going to want feedback. We're going to say that we, first thing, are going to have the people that are already doing it well, which is like Tim has got some good ideas. Guys out west have some good ideas. We need to get it together. I'm going to say that, sometime this year we really need to sit down and draw some rough rules out for it. I think I talked to a number of people about the historic class, and it's really more of probably old guys having fun. And there's going to be a little loosey-goosey, the rules, you're going to have all kinds of different cars and all kinds of different modifications. And, these people that are into the historic class probably, they're not out to win overall. They just want to have a good time. So that's kind of what we're looking for there. And I would say that we should have the 18 rules sorted out probably within, I would guess, by April or May. The 18 rules will be sorted, and that's when we want to work on the historic stuff, I think. But by all means, Tim, if you would give us your version of what you think should be, as long as the Quattros are included, and I completely agree. But I think we're going to have to stay away from, like, the Eagle Talons and the Evo and the Gallants. I think, somewhere, 80s, somewhere in the 80s, I think will be our cutoff line. And modern safety equipment is going to be mandatory. So as long as you have a modern roll cage and seat belts and seats, and it's not too new, I think you're going to be able to do whatever you want.
Throw the personal opinion caveat there.
And of course, that is just my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I think we're about wrapped up. If obviously watch the video. Tim went over a lot in the beginning. Any other final words there, Tim?
I just thank you for visiting my home, and thank you everyone for being patient with us. And like I said, it goes slow, but I see lots of good things happening here, and I think you're going to find out that what we're doing here is the best thing for the sport. And thank you for your feedback and your input and your help.
And please watch the website. We do constant updates on the website, so that's the most current information is right on AmericanRallyAssociation.org.
And I would like to thank Mr. Wizard, Chris Sear. He's here. There is actually a person, the brains behind the operation. I think, how many people do we have involved in the operation now, in the organization?
I wish I would have counted. It's over. It's 20s, 30s probably.
We think somewhere between 20 and 30, maybe more people are now involved, and they're all working away, and it's going pretty good. So thank you very much, everyone.
All right. We'll talk to everyone soon.
Right.